The thrill of the boring life. I know. It sounds like a disaster waiting to happen. You're probably thinking, who in their right mind would willingly choose to live a life devoid of spontaneity, excitement, and the kind of chaotic Instagram-worthy moments that define an influencer's existence? Well, me. I choose to live a boring life. That's right. I made the decision to trade in wild nights out for quiet evenings of listening to music at home, avoid people I don't vibe with, and embrace a lifestyle that's as cozy as my living room sofa. And why am I doing that? Because I've tried the other thing, and it didn't bring me even half as much joy as living the simple life. Honestly, it turns out this was the greatest decision I've ever made. So grab a cup of tea and let me take you on a journey through the oh-so-exciting world of my everyday, uneventful, borderline boring existence. For one, I'm not about that living on the edge life. Let's talk about living on the edge for a moment. If you're someone who's always seeking that next adrenaline rush, bungee jumping off cliffs, or swimming with sharks, then kudos for you, you do you. This is not about judging you, I don't at all. This is about presenting you with another way of life that might seem boring, but to some of us is very satisfying. Instead of seeking life-threatening experiences, I've perfected the art of enjoying my life in all its mundane facets. I certainly don't engage in activities that could result in me needing stitches. I leave the danger to the people who wear "you only live once" as a mantra. Secondly, I don't have FOMO. FOMO, the fear of missing out, is something that plagues anyone who scrolls through social media and sees their friends doing things that seem way cooler than whatever you're doing. Which for me is usually sitting on my couch with a bowl of cereal at 7 p.m. on a Friday. Don't judge, it's a vibe. But here's the thing, I'm perfectly content with my lack of FOMO. Do I care that my friends are at some overpriced nightclub at 2 a.m.? No, not for a second. I don't want to be there. I really don't. And do I wish I was at that weekend festival trying to navigate the sea of sweaty people and overpriced food trucks? Definitely not. I don't like that. I've come to the realization that life isn't about keeping up with everyone else's highlights. It's about enjoying what you find fulfilling. And guess what? I find fulfillment in watching reruns of The Office and organizing my bookshelf. Seriously, I like that. I adore organizing. And honestly, isn't it nice to not feel like you're constantly scrambling to make sure your life is interesting enough to post about on Instagram? It's at least way less stressful. To me, the comfort of routine is priceless. You might be thinking, but aren't routines boring? Well, yes, and that's the point. Imagine I'm an artist at heart and in reality. I'm a writer and a painter. Routine is boring to me as well. It's sometimes probably even more boring than it is to accountants, let's say. No shade to accountants. But I found there's a strange magic to routine that regulates my overwhelmed artistic nervous system. It's that knowing what comes next gives me peace. Predictability gives me peace of mind. I wake up at the same time every day at 6:29 a.m. I wake up naturally without an alarm because I don't have a job or a boss or clients. Yay. I go to the bathroom, feed the cats, and then I start writing right away while my brain didn't yet get a chance to wake up and start imposing limitations on my creativity. It's a method I use to get in a state of flow that works wonders for my efficiency. No morning routine, no nothing. I wake up and I'm straight into work. By 10 a.m., I've already written my article of the day. And I can wash, get dressed, and walk for an hour to my co-working space where I do more administrative work. I also have lunch with colleagues, stuff like that. It might seem boring to some, and sometimes it is to me, for sure, but I found that when I don't follow this pattern, my life can slide on an unhealthy path of self-indulgence and even more boredom. So I thrive on this lifestyle. The world might be chaotic and unpredictable, but in my little world, there's a rhythm. I know exactly what time I'll be back home, 6 p.m., what time I'll eat dinner, 7 p.m., and when I'll go to bed, 11 p.m. It's comfortable and calming, and in today's world, a regulated nervous system is a real luxury. But what's wonderful about this is that I'm saving money, like a lot of money. You know what's really boring? Watching your bank account grow at a steady pace because you don't impulse buy everything you see. That's right, folks. The boring life comes with a side of financial freedom. And I love that. By choosing to live a boring, predictable life, I said no to every expensive thing that crosses my mind, like spontaneous trips to Thailand, or expensive dinners twice a week, or weekend getaways that I'll only remember for 30 minutes before my credit card bill arrives. I do those too, and sometimes I do them spontaneously. I just don't do them all the time, mindlessly, without a care in the world. Instead, I've embraced the joy of saying no. I don't need the newest gadget, the latest fashion trend, or a vacation in Bali twice a year to feel fulfilled. I'm perfectly happy with buying things I actually need and keeping my savings account looking healthy. And the best part, I'm not constantly stressing about how much money I've spent, because I already know. It's a lot less than the person who's spending $200 on a spontaneous brunch because their Instagram told them they should. The boring life means mental clarity. Have you ever had one of those days when you've done so much stuff that at the end of it you can't even remember what you did? Well, that's the opposite of my boring life. I remember everything mostly because my brain isn't overwhelmed by the constant bombardment of fun things I'm supposed to be doing. Chaos and stress is not fun for me. It's just, well, what I said, chaotic and stressful. Living a boring life means that I don't have to juggle a million thoughts at once, just like I'm not juggling a million things and activities at once. My mind is clear because I don't have to constantly plan for the next adventure, experience, or life-changing moment. I know what I'm doing today, tomorrow, and next week. And guess what? It feels pretty damn good. Living a boring life is actually my superpower. But the truth is, it's not for everyone. It works for me because I'm an introvert. I get no real pleasure from parties. I meditate daily. I find immense joys in the simple things. And I just don't need constant hyper-stimulation. But I do realize you might need something else, at least for the time being. I wasn't always like this either. In a world where everyone is screaming at you to live your best life and experience the world, I've quietly opted out of the chaos. And somehow it's working. While everyone is scrambling for the next big thing, the next big thrill, I'm calmly sipping my tea, getting 8 hours of sleep, and being the most productive, peaceful person in the room, usually. And honestly, I wouldn't trade it for the world. In conclusion, boring is the new bold. I choose the boring life. It's the best decision I've ever made. It's cheap, it's easy, and it's honestly pretty damn peaceful. Sure, I'm not skydiving, I'm not surfing, or whatever people do to raise their adrenaline. I like riding roller coasters, for example, but that's about it on the adrenaline scale. I'm not living in anxiety, and I'm not recovering from the crash afterwards. In a world that glorifies hustle, chaos, and constant change, I'm choosing to embrace the simplicity and satisfaction of a life lived quietly, without a need to prove anything to anyone. And if that's boring, well, to tell you the truth, it's not really boring to me. It's exactly what I want and what I need. I'm just over here enjoying my low-key, financially stable existence. And I wouldn't have it any other way. If you're also secretly living a boring life and loving it, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because who needs excitement when you can have a steady stream of content about the beauty of life exactly as it is? Thank you for being here. I'll see you next time.